Hey everybody, VP with Metaverse News 1 here, and we are back. It is May 25th, 2023, and Illuvium Zero Season 1 has officially begun, and I am not happy about it. If you're wondering why I haven't been around, especially for Private Beta 2, it's because I'm on a 2-week family vacation right now, and this is the absolute worst time for anything to come out. Not only has Private Beta 2 come out, and I've been able to cover it absolutely none, but Zero came out soon after. I was not expecting that, but the show must go on. So I'm not in the best area. It's going to be louder than usual. There's a cat running around here somewhere, but we got to go. It is officially go time. Now, I haven't really had the chance to sit down and formulate the strategy that I want, but because of all the work we did back in the alpha season, we are pretty much close enough to where we need to be. And I honestly think, guys, I think if you play this long enough, everybody's going to get those 15 blueprints. We don't have to really go full bore here, but this is the rehearsal for the real deal when it is time to go full bore. So we need to get as close as we can as possible. So I'm going to pretend like it's the real deal. And if we learn new strategies along the way, then that's just how it's going to be. So to review, if you guys have forgotten, because I've semi-forgotten, what do we want here? We want blueprints because we feel like that's where the most upside is going to be. With 7 lands, and none of those lands being over tier 2, I don't think fuel's going to get me there. I just hope I have enough fuel to play the game as long as I want. Maybe have a little bit extra to sell. But I didn't spend 6 to 7 ETH so I could get minimal returns and just have fun at the game. You know, it's way too much money. I am here to cash in over time, but the key phrase there is over time. You can't expect instant returns here. I see people on Discord crying about how they're not making money right now. Well, you are in for a rough couple of years, kiddos, because you have to at least look 3, 4, 5 years ahead on this. I understand that. But I'm sure no matter how many lands you have, you're going to want to take this very seriously because you're competing with other people for these blueprints. And you want to put yourself in the absolute best position possible to max out what you do have. And that is what the Illuvium playlist on this channel is all about. All right, so if that interests you, subscribe, hit the bell. It is officially go time now. If you didn't do this before, now's the time. As a bonus, I also cover a couple other metaverse projects on the Cardano blockchain deeply. They're just not as far ahead as Illuvium is. And I've been saying this all year, but it's going to happen. I will start my actual metaverse news program pretty shortly here. And once that gets going, that's going to happen all the time. So if you're only here for Illuvium, or if you are interested in the other things I do, either way, subscribe, hit the bell. Now, let's review my situation. As I said before, I have 7 lands, combination of tier 1 and tier 2. We're going to look at them in a moment. Also, we're playing them all here. I just played a couple last time. We're going through all 7. So my head is going to spin. Please enjoy the video and just be happy you're not me right now and having to deal with all this. And there's different resources on each one. So even though I'm employing pretty much the same strategy we came up with before, it's going to have to change a little bit because, you know, some of my lands don't have carbon or silicon or solon or, you know, whatever. So my strategy on one land is not going to be a carbon copy of what I do on a different land. So it's going to be interesting to see that dynamic play out. Now, if you don't recall the strategy is to get to a scanner as soon as possible and get to scanning. Now, I am not going to get there as quickly as other people because by the time I get to a scanner, I want to be very well set up to where I can scan with ease every single day. And so we do that by doing it like this. We build our necessary buildings first to get them out of the way. We don't want things like that standing in our way, so we get them out of the way first. Then we focus on elements, carbon, silicon, hydrogen, and then fuel after that. You know, fuel is important, as we know. But since we don't need it to play Overworld just yet, and we're not selling it, that is going to push it down to the 2nd tier. And this whole strategy was proven effective before, because if you are lacking on elements, you're going to have a rough time. Things are going to happen a lot slower than you want them to. So the best move is just to bite the bullet early and allow yourself to have enough elements to use whenever you want and to be able to replenish them within a day. And then still have some left over if you want to upgrade things. That's the game, I'm telling you. But enough of this. Let's go ahead and take a really quick look at the lands I have, and then we'll jump right into things. Okay, so here we are at my land. This is the region they're in. I have 1 in each. This is just the probability of catching alluvials in that area. Not something we need to pay attention to right now. But over here, is what we have on that land. Now, the blue is going to be Tier 1, the gray is Tier 2. I figure we start with the Tier 1 lands and just kind of get those out of the way, and then move on to Tier 2. That's really it, and as you can see, we have a lot of areas that don't have certain things. I've kind of noticed over time that carbon's the one thing you don't really want to be without. It's a pain in the butt if you don't have carbon, and I have 2 lands that don't. So, you know, not the best situation, but not terrible either. We'll make do. I don't think in Season 1 you're going to be able to trade back and forth between lands just yet. I mean, they have that marketplace up, which might come in handy later, but we're almost going to set things up like the marketplace doesn't even exist. At least that's the idea going in. Let's see if we can be self-sufficient, and then maybe use the marketplace to fill in the gaps as we need them. But that's all we need to see here. Let's go ahead and start playing. Okay, so I've done 2 things. One, I've turned my system audio off. It's loud enough in here, and so you won't hear any little things popping up on the screen or anything like that. I think that's a good idea going forward. And I just cleared off all of my plants. It took about 15 minutes with 7 lands. Not too bad, really. Speaking on that real quick, unfortunately this is a thing. Because plants, we can't get rid of them, but they give us gold coins, which is great. We really need those, especially early in the game. So probably throughout the first week, I'm just going to go in and clear them all out ahead of time so we can work nice and clean, nothing in our way, and we'll have the maximum allocated amount of coins that we have. Because one of the things I'm going to do differently this time is be a lot more liberal with the way I use those coins. Like take them almost all the way down to 0 every day instead of sandbagging them. Because in about a week, you can just kind of pick them up as you go when you need coins and just take them off kind of mid-game. But then towards the end, you don't need to do anything with them because you'll have more coins than you'll ever need. So that's all I really want to say on that. Now here are our plots. The free-to-play is not going to be a thing this time around because you cannot get blueprints from it. So there's 0 reason to actually play it. I'm surprised it's still even there. But these dark purple are my Tier 1s, and these are my Tier 2s. We're just going to go ahead and just go boom, 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 and hit them all, especially after the buildings start taking a little bit longer to build, if that makes sense. So let's just go ahead and start with Crystal Shores and see what we're looking at. They still haven't got the zoom out thing taken care of just yet. It's the same as it was before, but what do we have? We have 2 carbon right next to each other, 1 silicon, 1 Hyperion. Is that it? Okay, that's it. So let's get the Nexus built now, and we can put it... I have this nice, huge desert wasteland here, which will be good for scanners. Let's put the Nexus over here. If you don't like where you build stuff, you can always move it, so it's not a big deal. Uh-oh. Please tell me that they got rid of this. Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. This is the one thing they got the most amount of complaints on. You're really going to tell me they didn't do anything with it yet? Let's hope this goes away after a while. This is my least favorite thing in the entire game, and I'm sure it's probably yours as well. No, we're going up in the world pop-ups. Nobody cares. Okay. Should we go ahead and build the workshop? Let's go ahead and do that too. Put it right there. And then we will immediately get going on these deposits, starting with the carbon. Sometimes those pop-ups aren't bad early because new goals can pop up, but after level 10 or 15 or so, you don't need to constantly tell me something I don't care to know. Alright, so what else can we build? Extractors, okay. Let's get her going. Yeah, I've seen certain things on Discord, I think, where they're trying to make the look and feel of this better than it already is. You guys don't need to do that. It looks really good as it is right now. I think that's a waste of time. Work on getting rid of those pop-ups. Do that first. All right, so the goal will be to get all of these in motion. And then I would probably say get one storage unit up as well would be the move. So that's how we're going to attack this. Now, as I did in the past, fear not, dear viewer. You're not going to sit there and watch all these things get built. I'm going to fast forward. I don't like making 2-hour videos with stuff like this. This video is going to be long enough. We'll cut out a lot of the crap and waiting and nonsense. But we can talk for now. Now, I think the storage is going to go over here. That's a logical place for that. Save all of this for scanning. Man, I don't hate the setup of this right here. It's not bad. Okay, so we're building this last extractor. Let's go ahead and be as efficient as we can with our time. And let's move on to Sharbluff. Just need a place to build the Nexus and the engineering building. Look at all that space. That's good. That's good. And I think we can build the Nexus right there. And have plenty of room for other things. So let's do that. Yeah, so we got this black on black's hard to see, but that's carbon, Hyperion, silicon. I got one of the silicon over there. Okay. Good there. Let's build the other one. And now back to Crystal Shores. Okay, now what the hell do we do from here? I've forgotten. Ugh. Go away. I'm going to complain on Discord about that. I don't even like complaining on Discord, but we'll make an exception. Now, what else is there to build? Oh, before we do that, we should get these things operating, shouldn't we? So I would imagine storing is in the cards. Oh, but we need to upgrade the Nexus. All right. Good to know, and that is always, always priority number one. So let's go back. Let's see what we need to upgrade it. 1500, which we don't have. 750, which we do have. Okay. So after these are done, we should be there. So we'll wait for that. Now we can. Upgrade, boom. 10 minutes. Not a problem because I have other land. So let's get these extracting again. Never forget that. And then go back to Sharbluff. All right, so carbon first. So I think compartmentalizing these into tier 1s and then doing the tier 2s later is probably the move, at least early on. Did I not build the engineering workshop? What's going on here? No. So I'm just kind of looking around here. And yeah, with these tier 1 lands, you should have plenty of room for everything, which is nice. You just get less resources to use to feed into those scanners and fuel sources, which is a bummer. But that's fine. Is what it is. We know what it is. No big deal. And so as soon as this is done, we'll tack on the other two. And I'll meet you back at Crystal Shore. Actually, you know what we're going to do since these things all take a minute? Let's go to our other tier 1 over at the Halcyon Sea. Max efficiency. So again, lots of good space. Space for the Nexus down here, I think. Let's make it happen. Yeah, hydrogen there, Hyperion there. Oh, yeah. No carbon on this land, big bummer. But that's my fault. Yep. I think the tier 2s are where it gets a little hairy in terms of, you know, where exactly am I going to leave room for these scanners? Because you guys know it takes up a lot of space to get those things to max efficiency. But it is what it is. Back over to Sharbluff. One left to go. Back to Halcyon. Alright, preliminary stuff done. We're going to put these little caps on, and we'll have all the kind of boring minutia of this early part done, which I'm happy to see. And then we can kind of play all three of these at one time and do a nice cleaner rotation, which I'm excited to see happen. Okay, so here's what's going on. On the other two plots, Tier 1 plots, I have the Nexus upgrading, and we're going to need to do that here as well. But here's the problem. To upgrade, I need carbon. I ain't got no carbon on this plot. So, we will need to build a converter. How easy is that going to be? I only have one building left. There's a reason why I left this open right here and I did not build on top of it, because I'm going to need this extra slot to build this carbon converter. But I can't do that, apparently, until I have Engineering Workshop 2. Bummer. Now it says I don't even have the first one. Did I just not? No, it's here. You only need one. So what do I need to upgrade this? 1900 hydrogen. All right. Not the worst thing in the world. I'm going to burn some coins and get this done. Even though it only takes a minute. I don't recommend you do this, but I have to shoot videos, and you don't. So, count your blessings. Okay, so we have enough for this now. Requires Nexus 2. Well, crap, I can't upgrade the Nexus 2 because I can't upgrade this because I need the carbon for the thing and the, you know. Okay, let's figure this out together. Aha. I figured it out. I think. Let's take our gifts. What can we claim? We can claim that. And it says we have two. Where's the other one? Oh, I really don't need that. Is that going to be enough carbon? I don't think it is. I think we need 1,500. Well. What now? What we may have to do is get rid of one of these buildings. It's the only other way. It gives me just enough. Gotta do what you gotta do. So now we have enough to upgrade the Nexus. I want you guys to pay attention to this because this is going to happen to a lot of you. It's probably going to happen to me again on the Tier 2. Let's upgrade it. Let's use the coin. Get it up. Can we upgrade this now? Yep. Okay. Now we can finally get back to where we need to, I think. Let's take advantage of what we're given here. Yeah, man, give me all of it. Because I'm going to need it to build this stuff up again. So it wasn't a mistake to build one of these because we needed the hydrogen. But we had to sell it to get the carbon, and now we should be able to build it again. The one thing you don't want to do is trap yourself in this game. So I'm still going to leave this a bit empty for now. But the next order of business is going to be to get that carbon converter up, because I have to make sure I have access to all three of these at all times. It's not going to be super efficient just yet, but there's no other recourse. So I'll wait for these to finish. I'll fast forward. And now we should have what we need to build that converter. Let's go to our efficiency real quick, because I can't quite remember how this goes down. But I want to see when we build this converter what it needs to go next to. Does it like being near you or does it not? Doesn't seem to really matter there. Yeah, it doesn't really seem to care. It's going to be 80% no matter what we do to it. So let's go ahead and for now put it next to this so we can share a power station later. Sound good? And just let that go. And then we'll be able to do everything, which is good. That's what we want. So let's go ahead and move over to Crystal Shore while that's going on. Collect. Now again, we are going to have to build hydrogen. We already have our Nexus upgraded, so this should not be a problem. Oop. Let's do that. Now we're good. We're going to need to upgrade this guy, though. And we're going to need hydrogen for that. So let's go back to our goals and claim what we can claim. Now, I think there's a big hydrogen one. No, maybe not. Will I be wasteful if I claim that? Not really. Just go ahead and take it. Yeah, it's not bad. So first things first, this has to be done. And we still don't have enough hydrogen. Okay, that's fine. We have more goals. Let's go there. Goals are a lifesaver early on, aren't they? All right. And again, I kind of want to build the converter near things just so they can share power sources early on. Again, we can always move them. So it's not the end of the world. Over to Sharbluff. Ooh, should have had those going. Inefficient. Not good. So, again, I'm not going to make you watch me excavate most of the time here. But while we're talking, let's get these going. And you guys don't know, I have my little taskbar for my video up here, so I'm not always seeing these things when they happen. But we're going to need a converter here too, again, for hydrogen. Which means you need to be upgraded. And of course we need hydrogen. So let's take advantage of the gifts. Still need more hydrogen. 2,000, right? 1,900. We might need to take all our gifts for that. Yep. Use the coin. Leave that there for now. Build a converter. Now everything's kind of spaced out here, so not sure what I want to do with this converter. For now, just kind of build it equidistant between these two. Maybe up a little bit. Again, you can always move. We kind of do roads last here. We don't feel like they're very important. At least not early game. So, yeah. So we are going to have everything on tier 1 where we want it early on here. And then from there, we'll see what we need to do next. I'll meet you back at Crystal Shore. Okay, so we are back at Crystal Shores, and now all of our early compulsory stuff is finally done. We have these upgraded where we need to have them, at least for now. All of our excavators are up. Our converter is here on the one element we don't have. Now the next move is either going to be power stations or storage. Can I build a power station? That's a good question. No, I need Engineering Workshop 3. Sorry. So we've answered our own question here. Storage is going to be next. Super fun. I'm not going to make you watch me build these. Just know that for something like this, if I can only... I need to leave room for buildings, right? So I'm going to build storage for carbon and probably silicon first, because those are the ones that are more likely to max out than this hydrogen is. So that's going to be my MO going forward. Let me go ahead and build the buildings I need to across these 3 tier 1s, and then we'll meet back here. Okay, we're back. Now, to review, we have both of these upgraded to level 2. We have 2 storage, one for carbon, one for silicon, because those are the ones where we actually have extractors. So those are the ones that are likely to need more capacity than this hydrogen, which we only use when we need it. Now let me show you what that looks like at 80% efficiency. It's what you would think it looks like. So carbon is what we're always going to have the most of here. So let's convert it, and you're going to see a 5-to-4 ratio here, which is not great. So we would like to get power stations there soon. But we're going to need to upgrade this guy first. What I think we need to do instead is this. Given that we only have really 2 spaces left over, let's go ahead and start upgrading these guys. Remember, eyes on the prize here. Elements are the prize early on. So what do we need for this? All right, that's very doable. For this, we need a lot of that. So this is more doable. So what I want to do is get all of these upgraded to level 2, because there's no prerequisite for it right now, and it doesn't take up a building space. So it's going to take a little bit of more excavating on my end to get there. But that's what I want to do. Now, can I also get this to level 2? That'd be nice. Oh, well, we get passives already. Nice. Yeah. We can do this too. So that's great. Before I put power stations down, as much as I want them, I want to get these upgraded first. Therefore, we can have a nice easy time upgrading these guys, because we're going to need quite a bit. Especially here. I mean, just to get power stations, we're going to have to find a way to produce this much of each, which means I'm going to need another storage facility just for that hydrogen. So it's going to have to come. So again, everybody, this is what I think is the next logical step, is to at least get all of these things cranking on level 2 before we take that next step forward. So that's what I'm going to do on all 3 of my lands. And I'll meet you right back here once we've done that. Okay, we are back. And I forgot how long it takes to upgrade all these things. That really is probably going to be, if I remember from before, the brunt of your time spent on this game. Because you have to ask yourself, especially if you're getting a bit low on these coins, do I use one or do I just let it run its course? It's kind of nice when you have other lands you can go work on, and you can just kind of let these things go, because that will save you coins. But man, it does take a while. But we're here. Everything here is level 2. And I have my storage. Now, you might be wondering why I put the storage where I do. Well, I usually put it on an edge somewhere because I want it in an out-of-the-way place. But I also want it in an area where a scanner is probably not going to go. So because this thing is in our way, in the way of a scanner, I guess you could say, I'm going to kind of make this whole top row storage village. And that's going to be what we do. Now, our ultimate short-term goal is to get this to level 3 so we can start putting power stations down. All right? But what do we need for that? We need this, which we have the storage for, but we need this, which we do not have the storage for. Anywhere on any of my lands right now. Womp womp. So I'm going to have to... The very next thing I'm going to have to do is build storage and then upgrade it so it can fit, and then fill my hydrogen and silicon back up again so I have enough to do that. Now, I think we need to upgrade this before we do that. What do we need here? That's actually less of an ask. This I can pretty much do most places. And I have the storage for it. So, my next move, which again I won't make you watch, is to make sure I have enough storage to get these two things up to level 3. That's it. Well, and then after that, fill it up so I can upgrade these things to level 3. So I will see you back here once I've done that. Okay, so in all 3 of my tier 1 plots, I have this upgraded to 3 and this upgraded to 3 now. Finally, got storage everywhere. Need to kind of recoup our losses, get back to par, and then decide what we need to do next. Now I know I'm going to need a bit more of that for a power station because I just peeked ahead. Now power station is the next move. Let's take a look at it. And because we built out the Nexus, we have plenty of space to do whatever we want. So the price of these things have gone up. Did anybody notice that? It's a lot more than it was before, but it's still really cheap for what it does. I am just going to need more hydrogen. So I'll tell you what. Let's just get these things going, and we'll build power stations on the other land and wait for that to go, because we're getting a bit low on coins. Again, I'm such a wuss when it comes to these coins. Always think I'm going to run out. I'm probably not. But it's day 1. I'm still a bit out of rhythm, so let's just leave it there for a minute. Go back to Sharbluff. And we have enough here for a power station, so we pull up our efficiency. And we see what these things can do. Fun, fun, fun. Now, I really want to get that extractor up higher. And it looks like I will do that as long as I press this up against it. Now, how can I do it and get that one at efficiency too? Though there's 117, 115. Looks like right here is the best for now. So let's do that. How long does that take? 10 minutes. You know what? Let's burn a coin on that. Get it cranking. And now we're in a much better spot. I would like to build another one down here. Don't quite have the resources just yet. Let's change that and get that moving. And while we're doing that, let's go over to Halcyon C. And where are we here? Ooh, we got some work to do. Do we need more carbon for the building? I've already forgotten. We do. Easy fix. Burn a coin. Get our passives. Get everything cranking again. And then we'll put our power station, obviously, right in this little neighborhood here. Again, not too concerned about roads just yet. Let's get this sucker down first. Forgot to turn our efficiency on. Let's do that. If you guys can hear those birds or not. It's either police sirens or birds or dogs. Always something. All right, so I can get 100, and they get 115, 117. That's not mad at that. 100 is what we have to have. Everything else is bonus. Let's just put that there. Again, it's not set in stone. We can always move it, but that's a good spot, I think. And I want to get that built because then by the time these are finished, I'm hoping it gives me a little bit more. I have enough to build the second one, so let's do that. Put it here. Get that one maxed out hard. And so I'm going to make sure I do this on all of my plots. And then we'll come back to Crystal Shores and see what needs to be done next. I think I know, and I'm not looking forward to it. Okay, we're back, and if you want a time log on this, it's been about 3 hours since I started, just so you know. Now, I'm filming too, so it takes a little bit longer, but just to give you an idea. Now, I have my power stations down. That part's done. The big question is, what do we do next? I will tell you what I think most people are going to want to do, and that is to build out this Quantum Fabricant, because that's going to allow you to build fuel sites. But I'll tell you what, we are pretty far ahead, man. You know, we're getting close to putting our first fuel site down. In order to put this Quantum Fabricant up, this needs to be upgraded to level 4. What does that take? It takes a lot. It takes a lot of resources. It also takes a lot of capacity. So really, no matter what, it is going to be another long slog while I upgrade all of these excavators and converters and my storage as well. It's going to have to be the next move. And I actually want to go as far as I absolutely can with it before I build the Quantum Fabricant. I think that's the difference between me and most people because, okay, let's say you finally get your first fuel site down. You know as well as I do from before, those fuel sites take up a lot of elements. And what good is having one down if you can barely ever feed it? Keep in mind, too, if you want to upgrade these things, and on these Tier 1 plots, we only have one. That's it. We're going to need to build 2 other converters. It's going to be a long time before you have enough fuel to do what you want to do. And if you're hurting on resources and you're constantly running out of them, this is the exact situation we want to avoid. So I'm going to upgrade everything as much as I possibly can. Then upgrade these and then see where we are. You know, if I can upgrade these guys even more without having to expend fuel, which we don't have, that's where I want to get to. And I feel for any of you guys who watch YouTubers that force you to watch them do all this because there's nothing exciting about it. But I just want to let you know where we are. And once you get here, this is going to need to be your next move no matter what. It's honest work, but somebody's got to do it. And that's what I'll be doing probably for the next hour, I would say. And then instead of meeting back here, let's meet over at Sharbluff, because why not? I'll see you then. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you upgrade these things, it takes way more resources than I have capacity for. So what you're going to have to do is kind of go in reverse order and get these storage units up to a high level. If that involves building 3 new ones, that's just what you're going to have to do. We have room to do it, so that's not the end of the world. But I always like to have enough storage before I start really upgrading these guys. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but that's the order we're going to do it in. So, see you at Sharbluff. Okay, so we are now approaching the 4 hour and 45 minute mark here as far as playing this game today. And on all my tier 1 land, I finally have level 3 on all my excavators, all of my storage, and have upgraded my necessary buildings to level 4. Now, why is this level 4 so important? Well, because we really can't go any further at this point until we build a Quantum Fabricant. And that takes level 4. So we're going to have to find a way to round up that amount of carbon and get that built, because we need to get the fuel going. Because what I would really love to do above anything is to upgrade all of these to level 4 before we do that, but it's not possible. I'll show you. Well, okay, I can't do it now because they're excavating, but you need fuel. You need one little piece of fuel to upgrade to level 4, and you can't mine fuel without the Quantum Fabricant. So you've noticed here, Quantum Fabricant needs 40k carbon. Well, at level 3, our amount of carbon only goes that high. So upgrading this is going to be the next move as soon as I'm able to. And I'm going to have to do that across all 3 plots, and then we will start chasing 40k carbon to create our fabricant, and only then can we go forward. If you've noticed, I've had time, so I built roads, and I have edited almost this entire video up until now. I mean, I had time. We're just sitting there waiting because I don't want to burn out all these coins just yet, because when these things start taking 45 minutes just to have one mining cycle go around, you're going to really wish you had a lot of these. So I said I was going to use them all the way to 0. I chickened out. I'm sandbagging. As you can see, you do need fuel to get these upgraded. And a lot of times this is fuel you don't have, so you got to build a converter. It's quite a chore to get to level 4, but once you do that, then the fun really begins in terms of you being able to build out and do a lot more stuff. So, okay, I'm not going to talk anymore. I am going to work to get the storage up to level 4, build Quantum Fabricants across all 3 lands, and then I'll see you back here. And look what we're building. It's a Quantum Fabricant. So, got one of these being built on all 3 of my lands right now, my tier 1s. And let me just say, Halcyon Sea has been the toughest because, man, you just don't want to not have direct access to carbon. And this is going to come into play later, too. So if any of you out there are considering buying land and you haven't done so yet, just make sure there's some carbon on it. It's such a pain in the ass, and it's going to get worse. I know it. Now, once that is built, all 3 of my tier 1s, if you remember from the spreadsheet, have Hyperion. Or to build Hyperion, you need about 10,000 and 20,000. That's not going to be a problem. You don't need to watch me do that. So I'm just not going to film that aspect of it, and we will reconvene on tier 1 land. Probably in a couple days, because I still have the tier 2 video to do. This has already taken about 6 hours. Guys, say a prayer for me on the tier 2 video. It's tier 2, and I have an extra land. I have 4. But we will hopefully get that one put out tomorrow, and then at that point we'll just build from there. So thanks for joining me here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you down the road.